Good evening, students. Today we are going to start with our session 4 on HTML5. So let's start. In the previous session, we have seen how we can create forms in HTML, and on the forms, how we can create the text box, check boxes, and radio button. So we have seen basically the HTML forms are used to get information from user, such as you have seen in whenever you are going to register for a social networking site or somewhere online. So they will ask your information, which include your name, your age, your gender, your city, your mobile number, etc. So for those information, we used to create this we used to create this HTML form. So in this, we have created a text box, which is just a normal input type. So whenever we are creating these types, so we use input, then we provide type attribute, and inside that we provide whatever the control we are using. So if we are using a text box, so we write it text. When we are using checkbox, so we write it checkbox. Whenever you are using radio button, so we write radio. And whenever we are using submit, so we give it submit. So these three will access the information. That means that whatever the information we will provide, so that information will be saved or will be get whenever we are processing some server side information on that. And this button will be used to send this information on the given action of the form. So I told you yesterday there are two attributes on a form. First is action and second one is method. Generally by default the method is get, and we don't use to generally provide it. Basically based on the requirement, the method can be either get or post. While in the action we provide the URL of that particular page where we want to send the information. So whenever you will submit the form, that information will be sent on this URL. Then we saw how we can insert an image in our web page. We have seen how we can create an image in web pages and how we can set an image as a background. So these were the topics that we discussed yesterday. So let's start with today's topic. Today we are going to learn how we can create the links on web pages. You must have seen there are some links, like whenever you click on something, so it takes you to either another page or on the same page but on a different location, or to the different web page within a website. So for that we create links. Then there is cascading style sheet. So I give you some of the insight on that yesterday, that this style sheet basically used to make your HTML elements looks more intuitive, and you can provide kind of designing to them so that they can look better. And then we will see how we can apply this CSS on link, and we can see some of the changes on that. And then we will see how we can use the link as button. That means with the help of CSS how we can make them as a button. And then we will see how we can create images link. So these are today's topic. So let's start. So first one is how we basically are the links. So when we talk about the link, so links are basically on the web pages that helps you to connect the web pages within a website. That means a website which contains many web pages. So if you want to link them, so we will use them with the help of hyperlink. I hope you have heard this hyperlink word earlier as well. So if you have worked on documents in MS Word, so whenever you select a particular text, let's say something like that, and when you right click, so there is an option to create hyperlink. So basically the hyperlinks means you want to connect this particular text to some remote location or to some different file or to some different kind of page or some another file. So that link or that text is generally known as hyperlink. That means it will take you to some other information. So hyperlink, while in this HTML, it would be an underlined text or image which when clicked takes you to another location. So in a HTML or in a website, there would be three kind of links you would be able to see. First one would be internal. That means the link would be on the same page. Okay, and it would be like on your website, it would be linked to some other pages. That would be your internal link. Then there would be local link. That means on your web page, it would be linked to some other content. That is, you have this particular web page. Here are some content. Here is some, and there is some other content. So you may provide a link for this particular section over here. So that can be done with the help of local, and then there would be global links. So global links are generally that means you link to some other website which is not part of your website, or the web pages that is outside of your website. So those links generally called as global links. Yeah. So here is some example of the this. So whenever we are creating a link, we call it as anchor tag. I mean, the tag that we are going to use is known as anchor tag, and in HTML we use it as a. So whenever you are creating, so there is an attribute that is href, and this attribute you provide the value of that particular link or that particular page or that particular section where you want to link. So whenever a user will click on this contact us, so it will take the user to this particular page. Let's see an example. So over here you can see that I have created a link to this particular text, that is visit w3schools.com, and in href attribute I have provided the link to this particular website. So whenever I would click, so you can see that this website is again open on this particular website. All this link will work. That means as usual, like it is working over here. So you can see that now I'm getting all these things, all the information on this website I can access over here with the help of this. So this is how you can create a link. So this link is basically, you can say, a global link. So basically it is not part of this website, it is outside of that. So this is known as your global link. Clear? So this is how you can create a simple link in HTML. Now let's move to our next topic, that means cascading style sheet. So basically this cascading style sheet is a style sheet that provides the set of style rules for defining the layout of HTML document. So you can say whenever you are creating a HTML web page and you want to define some layout, some designings on your web page, so with the help of this CSS you can do that. So in the style sheets basically are designed to separate the presentation style of document from the content of the document. It means that, like, suppose I have created this web page and I have simply written hello user. Now this is a simple text. If you want to decorate it, then you will define its CSS properties. Those properties that we define in the style tag, like we have seen earlier. In the case of list, there were 4 properties we have seen. So we define it either in a style tag or we define in a list attribute itself, that is a style, and then we define all the properties over here. So these properties help to decorate this particular text. So you can make it either italic, you can change its font, you can change its font size, all those things. So that decoration basically can be that presentation. You can say that is the presentation. So that can be done separately with the help of this CSS. With the help of this, we can easily control the color of the text, the style of the font. That means we can use any of the font family, such as we are let's say there is Times New Roman, we want to show some text in this format, while we want to show some in Calibri, while some of the text on our website on area. So that all these things, all these font families, we can change with the help of their CSS. Then the spacing between the paragraphs, if you want to provide the spaces, that also can be done. You can set the size and layouts of your columns, that is in the table or on your web page as well. So we use different HTML tags to create the columns and all. That can also be done. And also we can set the background images, or we can change their variety. That means we can make a background image either on a transparency. We can set its height and weight. So all these properties we can set with the help of CSS. So let's see an example on our anchor tag that we have just saw, that it can link differently as states they are in. So basically there are 4 states of a link. These are the 4 states, and it would be in the same order. That means if there is a link that has not been visited yet, so for that there is this property. If the link has been visited, for that particular is this property. If you just mouse over, if you take your mouse over on some link and you want to show some effect, for that this is the property. And if you want to show that whether the link has been clicked, that means whenever it is clicked, so for this we have this active property. So whenever you are using these properties, so if you are using all of them, so it should be, basically it has been stated in a rule that all these property must be in this order only. That means first you will define the link, then visited, then hover, and then active. So it must be in the same order. So here is one example over here, which is okay, this is showing as link as button. So let's see its example over here. So you can see that by default I have provided the link as red. I have already visited that link before starting our class, so that's why it is showing us as a green, because the visited is now green. Now whenever I will take my mouse over here, then the color will be changed to board pink. So you can see when I just take my cursor over here, so the color is pink, otherwise it is green. So whenever I doing the H over, so you can see the color is being changed. And we have seen when we clicked on it, so the color would be blue. So you can check when I clicked on it. Okay, that color is not being shown, because basically when I clicked on it, so it takes me to the another one. So that's why that effect is not being shown. Otherwise it would have. So that color would be changed over here. So these are the 4 properties you can set on your particular link, just to inform the user which of the links he has visited, which are the links that he has not visited. And with the help of properties, we can remove this underline as well, so that we will see in our advanced lectures if we are going to have them. So as of now, I hope these 4 properties on the anchor tag are clear to you. Link is basically for unvisited link. The visited is if you have visited that particular link. This H over would be whenever you take your mouse over here, so it will show that particular color on that, or whatever the properties you have set, so those properties would be applied over here. And if you are using whenever this link would be selected, that means when it will be collected, so that particular text would be changed to blue color. Clear? So this is the link, how it is working. And now let's move on to next. So this one is now with the help of CSS, how we can make a link as a button. So we over here you can see that these are the properties that we have set on this button, and whenever we are that is for when the link is not visited or the link is visited, for that we are using some properties, while when we take our cursor over here and it is active, then we are just changing the background color. So let's see this example that will help you to understand, and in that also I'll explain what are the properties. So you can see as of now the color is this one, but once I have taken my cursor over here, so the color is changed. So just to make it more clear, let me show some other control. Let's say something. So the color code must be in a hexadecimal format and it should be of length 6 only. Okay, so now we have this different color for the button, but you can see whenever I am taking my cursor over here, so the color is being changed to the red color. Yeah. Once I clicked on it, so you can see now the color has been changed. So whenever if the link is visited or if it is unvisited, then this one. Otherwise, it is changing whenever I am taking my cursor over here. Now, how this particular button is being displayed, I mean, how this particular link is being displayed as a button. So let's look into that. So over here you can see that it is a basic property. Over here they are just setting the background color to the this particular, which is this one. Then we have set the color white. So color white is basically for the text, whatever the text is there. So for that, if you are just defining the property color, so that means it will set that color to the text. So I hope these two properties are clear to you. Now let's move on to the next one. So then we have this padding. So padding we have seen in table, that was cell padding. So it is similar to the over here as well. So the padding means we are just setting this text from its boundary. So it is something like left and top and then right and then bottom. So it is something like this order. So that order I'll confirm you, but it takes basically 4 things. First is for your left side, then for top side, then from right side and from bottom. So these 4 properties we can set with the help of this padding. So over here we have provided only 2, so it is doing padding our text over here. So we can test which 2 values are there. So let's say if I remove this 14px, so you can see that padding is for top and bottom. It is for this one. While I fix this as well, so it is for right and left. So it is simple. And after that we have added our text to the center. That is, we have aligned our text to this center part. Then there is no text declaration we have shown, and then we have this display inline block. So that means that particular text would be in that line and it would be in a block form. There are different values as well, like display none. If you do it none, so then it would be gone. That means it won't display over here. So by this property we have set it as a in a shape of a button, and over here we are just changing the color of that particular button. So there are other properties as well. For that you can just either go to this W3 School website, and in the CSS section over there you can learn it more about it, or you can simply create with the help of these properties. It would look like this, and with the help of this you can change the color. So this is how you can create your links as a button. Then we have how we can create the images as links. So over here you can see that this is the image we have added, and we have seen this earlier also, that how we can add images on our HTML page. So it is simple. So first we have added an image, and I told you, I mean today we have seen whenever we are creating a link, then we define an anchor text, then its attribute href. Inside that we provide the link, and then we provide the text, and then we close it. So this particular space, it could be either a text or an image, or it can be anything. It can be a video as well, it can be an audio as well. We have already seen how we can add audio and video. So it is simple to that. And then that particular link. So whenever we will click on this image, it will take us to this particular link. Let's see in an example. So over here you can see that we have set it, and whenever there would be a link, you can check that your cursor would be changed to a handshake. Like over here, now it is displaying my cursor as a handshake, and I have set it some default, and that would be their home page or something on this website. So it is taking me to that default page. I can set it to somewhere else as well. Let's say if you want to go to google.com. So let's set that google.com. So now if I run it again and if I click it, so it will open the Google. Okay, so it is basically using this website only. Let me try this one. Okay, so over here they are not allowing on their server to connect to the Google. Otherwise, it must have connected there. So this is how you can create. I mean, you can pass some different URL, whatever you want. As of now, they are just connected to their website only. So that's why it is not displaying the other one. If I click on this, so it will display over here this particular home page of this website. And while in a general one, you can create. So you have to just pass the image. That means you have to create your image, and then outside that it will be your link. So this is how you can create an image as a link. So that's all for today's class. So today we have seen how we can create links in HTML. That means with the help of anchor tag, we can create the link. Then we have seen CSS. CSS are nothing, basically they are the cascading style sheets that helps you to decorate your text or your page. So it can help you to create innovative text with the help of some properties. You can set them so you can decorate your text. You can decorate your images as well. That means you can either set your height, width, or other properties. Like in this example, you must have seen we are using this style attribute, and in the style attribute we are setting the different properties. So there is one thing to learn. Whenever you are defining in a style attribute multiple properties, so to separate them you must have to use this semicolon. That means if you are providing the properties, then you will provide something like width, then the column. That means on the left hand side it would be property name, while on the right hand side there would be the property value. This is how you define the CSS property. Okay, and if you want to define multiple properties either in a CSS tag or in the CSS attribute, then you must have to separate them with the help of semicolon. So that means if I have to define the width and their height, so how I can define it? I can define something like width, then colon, and then let's say 400, and then I will provide a semicolon, and then I'll write the another property, that is, let's say height, colon, let's say 100, and then again semicolon. So this is how you define the CSS properties whenever you are using either in a CSS tag or in a CSS attribute. So this is the fish format that you have to use it while you are using this CSS property. And then we have seen in today's class that how we can define the then we have seen how we can apply the CSS on links, and there are 4 properties of the link, that is link for unvisited one, then we have visited, then we have h over, and then the last one is active. So there are 4 properties of a link, and this link is basically if your link is unvisited, then you can set this property, while if you have already visited the link, then for that particular, and you want to change some properties on that, so for that you will use this property. While if you are taking or moving your cursor to the link, then you will use this property to set whatever the different properties you want to set. It would be like you want to change the color, or if you want to change the font size, that also we can do. So over here we are seeing that we are changing to the color green. Let's say over here I want to change text let's say I want to change font family. Whenever I am changing to this, let's say I want to change it to area. Okay, so next, now you can set that now the text property of this, that means the font family has been changed. So this is how you can set the different properties. It is not over here that whenever you will visit or something, whenever I will take my cursor up, so that particular font family would be changed. So over here they are showing just the color thing, but you can set other properties as well. Whatever the properties are applicable for this anchor text, those properties can be set. After that, we have seen how we can set images as link. So it is simple. You will define your anchor text with the link, and after that you will define your image, and then you will close. So this particular image, whatever the image you will define, that will be treated as a link. So whenever you will click on that, so that will take you to the another. Now let me tell you how the internal links are working. So you have seen all these things, but we didn't saw one thing, that is internal link. So how we can use it? Let's create one paragraph, and let me give it ID, let's say something, whatever that is, paragraph, let's say. Okay, and then we return this is an example, and let's say this. Now if I want to set my cursor over here, so I'll provide that particular ID on this link, and let's say after that I'm creating another paragraph. Okay, with just let's say hi, then we have another one, let's say paragraph, let's say hello. Okay, so this is an example of internal link. So over here you can see there are three. So when I click over here, so you can okay, my cursor is not getting moved. So whenever you will click over here, your cursor would be moved to this particular page. As of now, this page don't have that much of content, that is why it is not displaying. But once you click over here, so it will take you to this particular page. So this is how you can set the internal link. So in the href, you can either provide the ID of your tag, that means of this one, or whatever the name is there, you can also the class is there, so that you can provide. So basically it takes, for the internal link, it takes two things, that is either you can provide ID or you can provide the class. So ID for a tag, it starts with hash and then there is a name, while for a class it will start with dot and then. So we have seen all this in an earlier example, but from that I told you that I will explain you later. That's why I am telling you today that it can be done with the help of ID or class. So if you go to the CSS part, so you will get to know over there that how it can be used. So that's all for today's class, guys. I hope you have enjoyed today's session, and keep looking to the Learn Forward app. Keep writing us if you have any query, any questions regarding our sessions, or you want, if there is some feedback on that, so that would be highly appreciated. Keep learning, keep looking.